I thought it was just a mannequin. I thought it was a prank. I thought it couldn't move. I was wrong. My name is Sarah, and this is my story. I was driving home late one night. The streets were empty. The town was quiet. As I stopped at a red light, I noticed something standing beside a bus stop. A mannequin. It was tall, pale, and completely still. I stared at it for a few seconds. Then the light turned green. That night, I couldn't sleep. Around midnight, I heard a tapping sound. Tap, tap, tap. I walked to my window. My heart nearly stopped. The mannequin was standing in my front yard, watching me. It was much closer than before. I pulled out my phone and called my father. He arrived 10 minutes later. Together, we searched the yard. Nothing was there. No footprints. No mannequin. Nothing. My father told me to get some rest. But I knew what I saw. The next morning, I went to work. I tried to forget about the mannequin. Everything felt normal. Until lunch break. Across the parking lot, I saw it again, standing beside a tree, watching me. I blinked. A car passed by. When I looked again, it was gone. That night, I searched online. I found strange stories, different people, different towns, but the same figure, the same mannequin. Most stories ended the same way. The person disappeared. One story caught my attention. It was written by a man named Daniel. His final message said, "If you see it, don't look away." That was all. No explanation. No details. Just those words. I laughed nervously. The warning sounded ridiculous. But later that night, I saw the mannequin again. This time it was standing outside my bedroom window. Closer than ever. I looked down at my phone for 1 second. Just 1 second. When I looked up again, it was standing right beside the glass. I screamed. I fell backward. My phone hit the floor. When I looked again, the mannequin was gone. But something felt wrong. Very wrong. Because I never saw it move. Not once. The next day, I visited Daniel's old house. The place was abandoned. But inside the mailbox, I found a notebook. On the first page were 4 words. "It moves when unseen." My hands started shaking. The stories were true, and I was next. I spent the entire night reading Daniel's notebook. Most of the pages were warnings, drawings, dates, and sightings. The handwriting became messier near the end, as if he had been terrified while writing. Every name in the notebook belonged to someone who had seen the mannequin. Next to each name was a date. The last date was always the same, the day they disappeared. At the bottom of the page was a blank line. My name had been written there. I dropped the notebook. My name wasn't written years ago. It wasn't written months ago. It looked fresh. As if someone had written it recently. As if the mannequin already knew me. That night, I locked every door. Every window. I turned on every light in the house. I didn't care how ridiculous it seemed. I just wanted to feel safe. But deep down, I knew locks wouldn't stop it. Around 2 a.m., I heard something outside. A slow scraping sound. I looked through the living room window. My blood ran cold. The mannequin was standing across the street, watching my house, watching me. I refused to look away. Minutes passed, then an hour. The mannequin never moved. It simply stood there, motionless, silent, waiting. Eventually, I blinked. Just once. When I opened my eyes again, it was closer. Only a few steps closer. But enough. Enough to make me panic. I grabbed my phone and recorded it. The mannequin was clearly visible. But when I played the video back, it wasn't there. The street was empty. I recorded again. The same thing happened. The next morning, I showed the videos to my father. He looked concerned. But not because of the mannequin, because he couldn't see anything. To him, I was filming an empty street. That evening, I received a message from an unknown number. It contained only 3 words, "Don't look away." My hands began to shake, because I knew exactly who had sent it. The next day, I received another message. This time it contained an address. Nothing else. No name, no explanation, just an address. Against my better judgment, I decided to go. The address led to a small apartment building. An old woman opened the door. The moment she saw me, her face turned pale. "You've seen it too," she whispered. I couldn't speak. She already knew. The woman invited me inside. Every window was covered. Every mirror was hidden. Photos covered the walls. Hundreds of photos. All of them showed the same mannequin. She had been tracking it for years. "The creature only moves when nobody is watching," she said. I nodded. I already knew that. Then she said something worse. "It gets faster." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" The old woman looked terrified. "The closer it gets, the faster it moves." For a moment, neither of us spoke. I wished I had never come. Before I left, she handed me a notebook. "Read this carefully," she said. "It may save your life." Then she locked the door behind me. I never saw her again. That night, I opened the notebook. It contained years of notes, dates, names, witness accounts, and one terrible pattern. Nobody survived. The final pages were filled with warnings. Most of them were impossible to understand, but one sentence stood out. "When it reaches your room, it's already too late." My hands began to shake. Around midnight, I heard a noise upstairs. Slow footsteps. One step, then another. I lived alone. There shouldn't have been anyone there. I grabbed a flashlight. My heart was pounding. Slowly, I climbed the stairs. The hallway was empty, but at the far end, one door was open. I was certain I had closed it. I pointed my flashlight inside. The room was empty. Then I noticed something, a shadow, standing behind the door, watching me. I froze. The mannequin slowly stepped into view. For the first time, I saw it move. Its movements were unnatural, jerky, wrong, almost like a broken puppet. I screamed and ran. The flashlight slipped from my hand. The light went out. For several seconds, I was completely blind. Those were the longest seconds of my life. When I reached the bottom floor, I looked back. The hallway was empty. The mannequin was gone. But deep down, I knew the truth. It was getting closer. The next morning, I drove back to the apartment. I needed answers. But police cars surrounded the building. The old woman was gone. Her apartment was empty. Only one thing remained. A note taped to the wall. 3 words. It found me. My blood ran cold.